So in this video, I'm going to take you through the process of downloading your scan data if you're using a rec and scan workflow in the field, processing that data before moving on to create your desired outputs. So for this, I'm going to start a new project. Just select a location. Give it a name. And once we're in our new project, we have a couple of options here. So in the left hand window we have the Project Explorer tab. So this will just allow us to look through the data we have, reference points, tracks, measurements. So for this, we already have a track survey. So if I right click on the tracks, these were created in GEDO Office from the rec module, GTD files. So I'm going to import these two tracks I created earlier. So we're going to downline. Again, and the upline. So now I'm going to go through the importing my measurements. So if I right click on the measurements tab, I'm going to import GEDO scan measurements. So it's automatically going to come up and ask you to direct it to the IMS project. The scan project. Just a location of that. So once you select the folder that was created for your scan project in the field, it'll list here the scans that were associated with it. You then need to direct it, let's say SD cards. If you had SD card plugged in, you just direct it straight to the SD card and it'll look for the scan data there associated with that actual project. Or in this instance, main folder directory where the scans are held, it will direct me there to the scans. So once you have the correct scan folder and the correct scan data, you'll see that the information will be grayed out, and the more it will give you the number of scans in each one. Tick them on and off here depending on how many you want to import. Just for speed here, just bring in 2 scans. Scan 1 and scan 2. It'll download the information in here into the measurements. You'll notice here now that you have a 3D analysis tag. So once you've processed your scan measurements, you'll import this data in here, creating your analysis. So if I right click on the first measurement, it comes up with some information here regarding it. The trolley that was used, the tower height, offset forward, the calibration. Now in this it's 00, depends on the file type, the calibration file that's recorded in the project at the time. If for instance you use the wrong calibration file, or you have one later on, you can actually just direct it to it and import that there, and that will correct the scanner position for its mount on the trolley unit. If we right click on our scan 1, the options here are for pre-processing and pre-processing synchronization. To process your data, if you're processing it against the track, we have to go through the 2 of these processes, so it's pre-processing and synchronization. So for the pre-processing stage, basically it's going to filter down the scan data, it's going to remove the trolley components and set a minimal point distance. So we can filter the scan points by distance. So this will be in an offset to the trolley. Just leave it at 0.5 and 30 meters. We'll leave all these ticked on. And then you have the synchronization mode. So a couple of modes there. You have local. Local mode will basically just process the scan against the odometer. There'll be no corrections to track, no synchronization points. Absolute measurement is then where we're going to use the track survey with the synchronization points to then process the scan and correct the data, having it to the track. Design data would be as if we were using some form of the design alignment. So what we're going to be using is the absolute measurement. It's going to ask us to navigate to the track, so it'll be the track that's associated with this data. So sometimes what you will find is that it will flag up an error when you bring it in. Sometimes this can be to do with an incorrect synchronization point, the number of the point not matching up in the field. Also, it can be that when you run your overlaps to create the GTD file for the track, it may disregard that synchronization point, usually the end point, and I've changed the number to it for the next station as it would have been in the field. So you can change that here by this little edit tab. As well, also just to check if we were to disregard that one, we can see that the other ones have now, they are processing, so you can see obviously this one is the one that's the issue, is the one at the end. So turn that on again and go to edit. So the last one was 119. So see here we've got 1016, and then there's a bit of a jump in the point number. So this is probably between station setups. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a trial and error to see which one it has changed the point number. You can see here it's still flagging up an error. So we can see here by changing the point number. So obviously the point number was updated in the track file when we ran the merge, so we just need to change that in here. You might find this true if you were doing more setups, that some of these would be out, you would need to just update them and change them. So now you can see that the odometer distances as you go through, what was measured on the odometer, and what the actual true length was based on the total station position, and then the error, and it gives you that as a scale. So the odometer isn't actually that accurate. You will find stuff like this over distance depending on the curvature of the track. It's important that we keep the scales kept down, but this is corrected, the odometer value is corrected by the total station, and that's the importance of doing the synchronization points. So if you hit start to that, it'll then start running through the process of pre-processing and synchronization for scan 1. Whilst that's doing that, you can go in and start off the synchronization for scan 2. Again, we're seeing here that there's a bit of an error in the overlaps. 162 jumps up, I guess we'll try that one. Yeah, and then that one's coming. So you see the various ranges here of the error. Scaling of that error just gives you an idea. So if it started that will kick that one off running. If you'd further, you could just start them all off and then go away and just leave it for a little while just to process itself. So once those measurement runs, the scans are processed, they'll no longer be greyed out, and you should have all the folders there are kind of blacked out, and you will have the track information and all the relevant scans there for your measurements. Now what you need to do is create a 3D analysis to view the data. So if you just right click in there, create 3D analysis, and you can create the range you want. Just call this, give it a name. Then what you're going to do is you're going to drag and drop your tracks or your scans in here. So I'm just going to drag in the upline, downline and upline. And then the scans. That's all the information here within my analysis. If I just tap on the analysis itself, it'll load up the points there. Scan data to view. You see down the left hand side of each piece of information, there's a little kind of eye. So that'll allow you to turn that off. So we have the downline here. You see obviously that the reason why if you turn on the upline there is because the upline is also part of the actual scan data, so this must be the line that the scan was undertaken on, would have been the upline. There it will come in as part of the scan. Also we can turn off different sections of the scan as well. You can make them visible or non-visible. And that's the basics of processing the scan data and bringing it in and creating a 3D analysis.